Imagine holding a winning lottery ticket and shredding it to go dig for gold in a desert you've never seen. That was the choice involved in walking away from a high-paying, guaranteed career on Wall Street in the early 90s. In 1994, the internet remained a crude, misunderstood digital landscape, navigated primarily by academics and hobbyists rather than shoppers. Bezos looked at those primitive web pages and identified a massive, empty commercial vacuum waiting for an infrastructure. His exit from finance was a cold calculation, the product of a mind obsessed with how complex systems operate. Born in Albuquerque in 1964, Bezos approached his toys as puzzles to be solved. He was the kind of kid who would dismantle a crib with a screwdriver to uncover the hidden mechanics holding it together. He needed to know exactly how things functioned. Instead of scolding him for taking the house apart, his family fed that analytical hunger, rewarding radical curiosity with new tools and space to experiment. This mindset remained intact in adulthood. He viewed the early web as another mechanical system waiting to be decoded and assembled. This digital gamble functioned as an oversized scientific experiment, conducted by a lifelong systems architect. That experiment started in a suburban garage. He traded the glass towers of finance for a makeshift desk made out of a wooden door, deciding to sell physical books as his first test case. Early adoption was slow. Building a storefront in a space where people were still afraid to use credit cards meant survival was a daily question. This chart shows the severity of his early operational strategy. Bezos intentionally sustained deepening financial losses for years to capture market share. Looking at this specific era of peak pressure, investors panicked. Critics examined this exact data and declared the business model a failure. Bezos ignored the noise. He survived the doubt by refusing to optimize for short-term profit, focusing entirely on absolute scale. Once the mechanics of selling books were proven, the model expanded. The target shifted from a bookstore to the everything store. The expansion sequence was rapid. Books branched into electronics. Electronics connected to clothing, groceries, and an endless catalog of consumer goods. Managing that growth required massive real-world logistical complexity. He built a physical network capable of serving millions of global customers simultaneously. By continuously pumping capital back into that infrastructure, the startup simply outscaled the imagination of its early critics. The frictionless delivery machine Bezos architected became the company's defining product, eclipsing the value of the items moving through it. Today, that machine operates as one of the largest and most influential corporations in human history. This expansion standardized near-instant access to physical goods, shifting the everyday expectations of consumer shopping. This presents a structural problem. A mind obsessed with infinite expansion eventually runs out of room when it effectively conquers terrestrial retail. A machine built for continuous growth requires a frontier without physical boundaries. That necessity led to Blue Origin. The transition to aerospace is the logical manifestation of a lifelong need to scale. Blue Origin approaches the cosmos as a logistical infrastructure problem, aiming to make space travel broadly accessible. The man engineering reusable rockets is still the child in Albuquerque, taking apart his environment to see exactly how it works. Building systems at this scale requires the audacity to trust unproven models, even when the prevailing consensus calls them impossible. Empires are born from those exact calculated risks. If you want to see more breakdowns on the architecture of modern business, be sure to like, share, and subscribe.